I am the ghost of Christmas with a past. I am the ghost you don't take home to mother. But if you like the show, you can buy me a drink back there later, and I might become the ghost of Christmas present. I'm gonna tell you a story about long ago and far, far away from here. Far, far away from here is all the way in Falls Church. And long, long ago, back in ancient times, is my childhood. Back when things were different, we didn't have travel soccer teams. We had the backyard. And we didn't have Pokemon. We had Vietnam. And I had every toy, every war toy a girl could possibly want. I had a G.I. Joe doll. I had a G.I. Joe helmet. I had a G.I. Joe M16. And I had a G.I. Joe first aid kit with a sling that went around your neck. I also had a little sister that I could torment whenever I wanted to. But I was a benevolent big sister. I gave her my G.I. Joe helmet and a 3-second head start. And when she finally fell down or accidentally got pushed down, I would run over, and because I didn't quite understand what I was seeing on the television set with the 4 magic channels that you had to get up and change, I immediately ran over and hummed taps. And then I said, "Medic!" And then no matter where she'd been hit, I put that sling around her arm. And then we would stand around in the backyard, and do patriotic songs, because in first grade in Fairfax County Public Schools, in music class, that's what you learned, every damn patriotic song there is. My own children don't know the words to the national anthem, and I know because I quizzed them this afternoon. And the important thing to remember here is that patriotic music was my go-to for a stressful situation. When I was scared, I would break into, "Yankee Doodle had a lemon just to ride a pony." Because once a year, Daddy would come home from work and say, "Let's go to the carnival." We didn't have Busch Gardens. We didn't have King's Dominion. We didn't even have a frickin' Chick E. Cheese. But we did have the carnival once a year that was set up post at the Best Buy on Route 50, and it was called Montgomery Ward's back in that day. And I didn't get to ride one ride, I got to ride 2, because my parents were super awesome. And the first ride I always picked was the carousel, because I could ride the carousel. And I would go up and down and up and down, and I am a princess, I am a princess. And Daddy didn't quite understand the whole point here. I like to glide around on the make-believe horse and play princess. Daddy had the idea that I would like to try a real horse, and I got jerked over to ride the pony. The pony was real. The pony smelled bad. There was no pole to grip. This is a family show. You had to grab the knob on the saddle and try not to fall off. And I was trying to be a really good sport. And so every time we went around and I'd see Daddy, I'd smile. And when we passed, I would say, "Yankee Doodle went to London just to ride a pony. So this happened. Oh my God, I am Daddy, I'm having fun." Christ. My spirit of adventure had maxed out on the carousel. 6 weeks later, Daddy and I had another miscommunication. We were at the place that you went for vacation back in the 60s. We were in, thank you Jesus, Ocean City, Maryland. And I was at the end of the pier looking up at the rides at night in the dark. And there was a fantastic carousel, Ferris wheel. And it was going around and around. And I thought, that really has awesome princess potential there. You just have to get in that bucket and ride around and look awesome. As you see, I have perfected awesome. to the left that didn't look quite finished. It was steel, and you could see through it, and there were little cars doing this kind of thing, and people were yelling and screaming. And I was saying, wow, that's interesting, and Daddy got the wrong idea. Yes, let's go ride. Wait a second, wait, whoa. And I said, the only thing I could say in a moment like that was, I think my sister really wants to ride it. I'll go get her, okay? You stay right here, I'll go get my sister. Yank. Christ. There were no height restrictions in those days. There were no lap bars. There was no padding in this little metal tin. And the person who was strapping me in next to Daddy was the greasiest human being I had ever seen. And I had been to first grade, so I was educated. And I said, Daddy, he's smoking. He's gonna die. And the look I got. And now I'm being strapped in, and there's lots of room in between me and the strap. And the guy just says, just keep your hand on her. My eyes don't even come over the seat. And I'm rattling in this metal tin with no padding and no lap bar. And I look at my daddy and I said, God bless America, land that I love. Daddy looks down at me and goes, we're having fun, aren't we? Sign me, unkind the line, my country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty. Ah! And I screamed all the way through that ride. And at the end, you knew two things about me. One, you could never doubt my patriotism. And two, I was not cut out for thrill rides. All Daddy said to me was, I didn't know you knew all the words to that song. But I had my first and last Coca-Cola that I didn't have to share with my sister that night because Daddy was too scared to take me back to Mommy in the car. 36 years later, I'm in hell. You've been there too. King's Dominion, with a toddler, zombie walking behind a stroller. You've been there 7 freaking hours, and all the kid has done is play in the ball pit. And you haven't ridden on one ride, and it's time to go home. And you're zombie pushing that stroller, and you see the Scooby-Doo roller coaster. And he's 2 years old, pushing his car, going, vroom, vroom, vroom. Oh, yes, I did. And I have a photograph in my photograph book of my child having fun on his first roller coaster ride, and it looks something like this. As my father did to me, and I did to my child. That is a Cavazos family tradition.